Right now, in 2026, there are more incredible flagship phones than ever before. And if you pick the wrong one, you are literally throwing away over $1,000. So today, we are putting the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra up against the 12 best flagships on the planet, ranked from good to absolutely mind-blowing. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which phone deserves your money. No fluff, no filler, just the truth about each and every one. Let us get into it. Starting us off at number 12, we have the iPhone 17e. Now, before you scroll away thinking this is some budget throwaway, hear me out. Apple did something really clever with this phone. They took their Apple Intelligence features, the ones that used to be locked behind the Pro models, and they brought them down to a much more affordable price point. This thing runs on the A18 chip, which is still incredibly powerful in 2026. It handles everything from gaming to multitasking without breaking a sweat. The design is where Apple really surprised everyone. They went with this slim, almost minimalist look that honestly feels more premium than it has any right to at this price. It is thin, it is light, and it feels fantastic in the hand. You get the full Apple ecosystem experience here. That means seamless integration with your Mac, your iPad, your Apple Watch, your AirPods. All of it just works together in that way that only Apple can pull off. Now, is it going to compete with the S26 Ultra in terms of raw specs? No, absolutely not. But that is not what this phone is trying to do. If you are someone who loves Apple, you want that ecosystem, but you do not want to spend flagship money, the iPhone 17e is genuinely one of the smartest purchases you can make in 2026. It punches way above its price, and for a lot of people, that is more than enough. It's also worth mentioning that the software experience here is identical to what you get on the Pro Max. Same iOS, same updates, same App Store. You are not getting a watered-down experience. You are getting the full Apple experience in a more affordable package, and that is really hard to argue with. Coming in at number 11, we have the OnePlus 13, and this phone is all about giving you flagship power without the flagship price tag. OnePlus has been doing this for years, but with the 13, they really nailed it. Under the hood, you are getting the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which is the same chip you will find in phones costing hundreds of dollars more. It is fast, it is efficient, and it tears through anything you throw at it. But the real story here is the battery. 6,000 milliamp hours. Let me say that again, 6,000. That is absolutely massive. We are talking about a phone that can genuinely last you 2 full days of normal use. And if you're a heavy user, someone who is constantly on social media, streaming videos, playing games, you're still going to make it through an entire day without even thinking about a charger. In a world where most flagships are still struggling to get through a single day, that kind of battery life is a game changer. OnePlus also kept the price competitive, which means you're getting top-tier performance and incredible battery life without having to sell a kidney. The charging speed is also ridiculous. We are talking about 0 to full in well under an hour. So even on the rare occasion when you do need to charge, you're back up and running in no time. Compared to the S26 Ultra, you're obviously missing out on some premium features like the S Pen and that privacy display, but if battery life and value are your top priorities, the OnePlus 13 is really hard to beat. It's the phone that makes you wonder why everyone else charges so much more. At number 10, we have the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. And camera enthusiasts, this one is for you. Xiaomi went absolutely all out on the camera system here. We are talking about a massive 1-inch Sony sensor as the main camera paired with Leica optics. If you know anything about photography, you know that sensor size matters enormously. And a 1-inch sensor on a smartphone is just incredible. The amount of light this thing can capture, the dynamic range, the natural depth of field, it all adds up to photos that genuinely look like they came from a dedicated camera. The Leica partnership is not just a logo slapped on the back either. The color science, the processing, the way this phone renders skin tones and textures, it all has that Leica character that photographers love. You get these rich, slightly warm tones that just look beautiful without being over-processed. In a world where most phone cameras are trying to make everything look hyper-sharp and overly saturated, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra takes a more natural, more artistic approach. Now, where it falls a bit behind the S26 Ultra is in the overall software experience and ecosystem. Xiaomi software has gotten better over the years, but it is still not quite as polished or as feature-rich as Samsung's One UI. The global availability can also be tricky depending on where you live, and the after-sales support is not on the same level as Samsung or Apple. But if photography is your #1 priority and you want the absolute best camera you can get on a smartphone in 2026, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is the one to beat. The photos this thing produces will genuinely make your photographer friends jealous. Number 9 is the Google Pixel 10a, and this little phone is proof that you do not need to spend a fortune to get a smart, capable device. Google packed their Tensor G4 chip into this thing, and more importantly, they brought their full Gemini AI experience to a mid-range price point. That means you get all the smart features, the real-time translation, the call screening, the photo editing magic, all of it on a phone that costs a fraction of what the big flagships cost. The build is compact, which is something a lot of people have been begging for. Not everyone wants a giant slab of glass in their pocket, and the Pixel 10a delivers a phone that is easy to use with one hand, comfortable in your pocket, and still packed with features. The camera, while not as advanced as the Pro models, still benefits from Google's legendary computational photography. You are going to get fantastic photos in almost any lighting condition. Against the S26 Ultra, the Pixel 10a is obviously in a completely different league in terms of raw power and features. But that is the whole point. This phone exists for people who want the smartest phone experience possible without the premium price. And honestly, for everyday tasks, most people would not even notice the difference. You also get years of software updates from Google, which means this affordable phone is going to stay current and secure for a very long time. Dollar for dollar, brain for brain, the Pixel 10a might be the most impressive phone on this entire list. At number 8, we have something truly unique, the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. If you are tired of every phone looking exactly the same, Nothing is here to shake things up. The glyph matrix on the back is more than just a gimmick at this point. It has evolved into a genuinely useful notification and interaction system. Different light patterns for different contacts, progress indicators for timers and deliveries, and even visual alerts that you can see without ever flipping your phone over. The software experience is where Nothing really stands out, though. Their operating system is clean, it is fast, and it has this unique character that no other Android phone can match. It feels like using something designed by people who actually care about design, not just function. The 120 Hz display is smooth and responsive, and the overall performance is solid for everyday use. Compared to the S26 Ultra, the Nothing Phone 4a Pro is not trying to compete on specs, it's competing on personality. It's for people who see their phone as an extension of their personal style, not just a tool. And in that regard, Nothing has created something that truly stands alone in 2026. Every other phone on this list is trying to be the best at something technical. The Nothing Phone 4a Pro is trying to be the most interesting, and it succeeds. If you walk into a room full of phone enthusiasts and pull this out of your pocket, everyone is going to want to talk about it. That counts for something. Number 7 brings us to a familiar name, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Plus. Now this is interesting because we are essentially looking at the S26 Ultra's slightly smaller sibling. You still get that gorgeous 6.7-inch display with a super sharp resolution. You still get 12 gigabytes of RAM, which means multitasking is buttery smooth. And you get Samsung's One UI 8.5, which is honestly one of the best software experiences on any Android phone. The S26 Plus is the phone for people who want a big, beautiful screen and flagship performance, but do not necessarily need the absolute maximum that Samsung offers. You are giving up the S Pen, you are giving up that privacy display, and the camera system is a step below the Ultra, but what you gain is a phone that is slightly more manageable in terms of size and a bit easier on the wallet. For productivity, this phone is fantastic. The large screen makes it great for emails, documents, and multitasking with split screen. Samsung DeX support means you can even use it as a lightweight desktop computer in a pinch. If you're someone who uses their phone for work and wants that large screen real estate without going full ultra, the S26 Plus is the sweet spot. Number 6 is the iPhone 17, and this is where things start getting really competitive. Apple's base model iPhone has taken a massive leap forward this year. The 120Hz ProMotion display is now standard, which means buttery smooth scrolling and animations that look incredible. The A19 chip is an absolute powerhouse, and the 48-megapixel camera system delivers photos that are sharp, detailed, and beautifully processed. What makes the iPhone 17 special is that it feels like a complete, no-compromises phone. In previous years, the base iPhone always felt like Apple was holding something back to push you toward the Pro. But in 2026, the standard iPhone 17 delivers an experience that most people will find more than sufficient. The video recording is still class-leading, the app ecosystem is unmatched, and the build quality is as premium as it gets. Against the S26 Ultra, the iPhone 17 holds its own in day-to-day use. Where it falls short is in the extras. No S Pen equivalent, no privacy display, and the customization options are still more limited compared to Android. But if you want a powerful, reliable, beautifully made phone that just works, the iPhone 17 is one of the best options in 2026. And let us be real, the app quality on iOS is still generally a step above Android. Developers tend to optimize for iPhone first, and you can feel that difference in how smooth and polished most apps run. For a lot of people, that alone is worth the switch. At number 5, the Google Pixel 10 Pro enters the chat, and this phone is genuinely making waves. Google packed 16 gigabytes of RAM into this thing, which is paired with their brand new Tensor G5 chip. But here is what makes the Pixel 10 Pro truly special. It is doing AI processing locally on the device without needing to send your data to the cloud. That means faster results, better privacy, and AI features that work even when you do not have an internet connection. The implications of this are huge. Real-time translation that works offline, photo editing that happens in seconds, not minutes, smart suggestions and automation that learn your habits and adapt to you, all without your personal data ever leaving your phone. In an era where privacy is becoming more and more important to people, Google's approach with the Pixel 10 Pro is incredibly compelling. The camera system is also fantastic, building on Google's years of computational photography expertise, and the software experience is pure, clean Android with no bloatware and guaranteed updates for years. Compared to the S26 Ultra, the Pixel 10 Pro trades Samsung's feature richness for a cleaner, more AI-forward experience. It is a genuinely tough choice between these two. Number 4 is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, and this phone represents the future of mobile computing. Samsung has been refining the foldable formula for years now, and the Z Fold 7 is their most polished effort yet. That 7.9-inch inner screen is basically a tablet in your pocket. When you unfold it, you have this massive canvas for productivity, entertainment, and creativity. But the big upgrade this year is the camera. Samsung finally put a 200-megapixel sensor in the Fold, which means you are no longer making any camera compromises by choosing a foldable. That was always the trade-off in previous years. You got the cool folding form factor, but the cameras were never quite as good as the slab phones. That is no longer the case. For professionals who need to multitask, the Z Fold 7 is unmatched. Running 3 apps side by side on that massive inner screen feels like having a computer in your pocket. Video calls, document editing, research, you can do it all simultaneously. The outer screen handles quick tasks perfectly, and when you need to go deep on something, you just unfold and get to work. Compared to the S26 Ultra, the Z Fold 7 offers a fundamentally different experience. It is bigger, it is bolder, and it opens up possibilities that a traditional phone simply cannot match. The S26 Ultra wins on portability and that incredible camera system, but the Z Fold 7 wins on versatility and screen real estate. If you have ever wished your phone could be a tablet when you needed it to be, this is the phone that makes that dream a reality. It's also worth noting that Samsung has made the Fold incredibly durable now. The hinge feels solid, the crease is barely noticeable, and the outer screen is perfectly usable on its own. The Z Fold 7 is no longer a compromise. It is a choice. Number 3, and this is a big one, the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. Google went absolutely all out with this phone. That 3000 nit Actuate display is the brightest screen on any smartphone in 2026. Using this phone outside in direct sunlight is no problem at all. The screen just pops with color and clarity in a way that no other phone can match. But the headline feature here is Google's commitment to 7 years of software support. 7 years! That means if you buy this phone today, you are going to be getting security updates and feature drops all the way into 2033. That is an insane amount of value over the life of the device. When you think about it in terms of cost per year, the Pixel 10 Pro XL might actually be the most affordable flagship on this list. The AI features are next level. Everything we talked about with the Pixel 10 Pro applies here, but with a bigger screen and a bigger battery to support it all. Google's Gemini integration is deeply woven into every aspect of the phone. It helps you write emails, organize your photos, plan your schedule, and even filter out spam calls before they ever reach you. Against the S26 Ultra, the Pixel 10 Pro XL competes on intelligence and longevity. Samsung offers more features and more customization, but Google offers a smarter, more intuitive experience that gets better over time. The monthly feature drops from Google mean you are constantly getting new capabilities added to your phone for free. It's like getting a slightly better phone every single month. If you want the phone that will serve you the longest and keep getting smarter every year, this is the one. It's not the flashiest phone on this list, but it might just be the wisest investment. And now we're at number 2, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. This is the phone that everyone else on this list is being measured against, and for good reason. Samsung pulled out all the stops here. The headline feature is the Flex Magic Pixel technology, which Samsung is calling a privacy display. What this means is that when activated, only you can see what is on your screen. Anyone looking at your phone from an angle sees nothing. In a world where we do everything on our phones, banking, messaging, personal photos, this is a genuinely revolutionary feature. The S Pen is back and better than ever. Samsung has refined the latency to the point where writing on the S26 Ultra feels nearly identical to writing on paper. For note-takers, artists, and anyone who loves to sketch ideas quickly, the S Pen remains one of the most compelling reasons to choose Samsung over everyone else. No other phone on this list offers anything like it. The camera system is absolutely top tier. We're talking about multiple lenses that cover everything from ultra-wide landscapes to extreme zoom shots, all with Samsung's excellent image processing. Night photography is stunning, video recording is smooth and detailed, and the AI-powered editing tools let you do things that would have required a professional editor just a few years ago. One UI 8.5 is Samsung's best software to date. It is packed with features, but it is also clean and intuitive. The customization options are endless. You can literally change everything about how your phone looks and works. Dex Mode turns your phone into a desktop computer. Secure Folder keeps your private apps and files locked away. Samsung Health tracks your wellness. Samsung Pay works everywhere. The ecosystem is massive, and it all works together seamlessly. The build quality is premium from every angle. The materials feel incredible, the display is gorgeous, and the phone just exudes that flagship confidence. The battery life is also excellent, easily lasting a full day of heavy use, and the charging speeds are fast enough that you are never waiting around for long. Samsung also knocked it out of the park with the display itself. The brightness, the color accuracy, the refresh rate, it all comes together to create one of the best screens you have ever looked at on a phone. If you want the phone that does everything and does everything well, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is the ultimate all-rounder. It is the Swiss Army knife of smartphones. There is genuinely not a single task that this phone cannot handle, and it handles most of them better than anyone else. The only question is whether anyone on this list can top it. But hold on, because the number one spot goes to someone else. At number 1, we have the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And before the Samsung fans come for me in the comments, let me explain exactly why this phone takes the crown. Apple introduced vapor chamber cooling in the Pro Max this year, and it completely changes the game. This phone can sustain peak performance for longer than any other phone we have ever tested. Whether you are gaming for hours, editing 4K video, or running demanding professional apps, the iPhone 17 Pro Max does not throttle. It just keeps going at full speed. The A19 Pro chip is a monster. It is the fastest mobile processor in the world in 2026, and it is not even close. Benchmarks tell one story, but real-world performance tells a better one. Apps launch instantly. Multitasking is seamless. Video rendering that takes minutes on other phones takes seconds here. If raw performance is what you care about, nothing else on this list comes close. And then there's the camera. The 8x optical zoom is industry-leading. Being able to get that close to a subject without any digital zoom degradation is incredible. The video recording capabilities are still the gold standard that every other manufacturer is chasing. Cinematic mode, ProRes recording, and the overall consistency of the iPhone camera system make it the go-to device for content creators and filmmakers around the world. The build quality is impeccable. The titanium frame, the ceramic shield front, the precision of every button and every port, it all screams premium. Apple's attention to detail is legendary, and the iPhone 17 Pro Max is the culmination of years of refinement. The haptic feedback, the speakers, the way the phone feels when you pick it up, every tiny detail has been considered and perfected. It is also the best phone on this list for video recording, bar none. If you create content for a living, this is the phone that professionals around the world trust for a reason. Now, does this mean the S26 Ultra is a bad phone? Absolutely not. In fact, the margin between these two phones is razor thin. The S26 Ultra wins on customization, the S Pen, that incredible privacy display, and overall versatility. If those things matter to you, the S26 Ultra is the better choice, no question. But when we look at the complete package, the raw performance, the camera system, the video capabilities, and the sustained performance under load, the iPhone 17 Pro Max edges ahead just slightly. And honestly, that is the beauty of 2026. We've never had this many incredible phones to choose from. Whether you care about cameras, battery life, AI features, value, design, or pure power, there's a phone on this list that is perfect for you. So here is the real question. Which one would you pick? Drop your choice in the comments below. I genuinely want to know which of these 12 flagships speaks to you the most. Are you Team Samsung? Are you going all in on Apple this year? Or did one of the underdogs like Nothing or OnePlus surprise you? Let me know, because I read every single comment. And if this video helped you make a decision, or even just narrowed down your options, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We are going to be doing deep dive reviews on every single one of these phones in the coming weeks, and trust me, you do not want to miss those. We go way more in depth, we test everything, and we give you the real truth about how these phones perform after weeks of daily use, not just first impressions. Hit the notification bell so you are the first to know when they drop. If you want to see how the S26 Ultra stacks up specifically against the iPhone 17 Pro Max in a head-to-head battle, I have got that video right here. Go check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.